Hi guys, the Metal Maniac back again. And before I start this video, I'm gonna say that this is gonna be my last video for today. I know yesterday I said I'd upload at least 3, but I don't feel like uploading more than 2 today. So with that said, in this video I'm gonna be listing off my top 5 favorite band logos. And before I list off my top 5, I do have some honorable mentions. Hold on. First off, here it is. I don't know why I kept it over here. But my first honorable mention is the logo for the band Europe. I know it's not much, but it's still really cool. I love how it's white, but like the trim on the lettering is like a almost like a purplish or a red. I can't really tell. It's very, very thin. The color that's the trim on the letters is very, very thin, so it's kind of hard to tell whether it's supposed to be purple or red. Wait, hold on. Oh yeah, so it's okay. But yeah, I think it's really cool. I love how the E looks like the top of a pitchfork, but instead of like that, it's turned that way. I really like the really cool like stretched out R. But yeah, it's one of my honorable mentions. I'll set that back there. Another honorable mention is the band logo for the band Gloryhammer. Especially this logo. It's in a really cool green shade of green. Again, I don't turquoise. That's it. I'm pretty sure that's the shade I'm thinking of. Turquoise, where it's like a really bright, vibrant green. There we go. Yeah, it's very bright, vibrant green. But yeah, I'm pretty sure the shade is called turquoise. But yeah, I really, really like it, and I like the font as well. It's very futuristic, but also very medieval as well. But I really like it. I love the reflection kind of effect on it, where like it almost looks like it's reflecting light, where like the bottom half is a darker shade of turquoise, and then a very darker shade of turquoise, and then the light, and then the top half is a different shade of turquoise, like a very lighter shade of turquoise. So that's kind of cool. I love the effect on that. Like there. Okay, another honorable mention is where's it at? Oh, yep, there it is. So another honorable mention is the version of the version of the Dragon Force logo from Extreme Power Metal. I really, really like this version of the logo. Yeah, it's technically the same in terms of font, but I like the coloring on this one the best. Like, I love how, again, the top is sort of a metallic blue almost, and the middle section is a very bright, a very bright pink, but almost white. It looks white on the camera, but in reality, yeah, it's actually a very bright shade of pink that's almost white. And then the bottom's dark purple. Yeah, I really like that version of the logo. Any other honorable mentions? Yes. Another honorable mention is the version of the Judas Priest logo from the album Jugulator. Probably my favorite Judas Priest logo. I really like how it's in not only my favorite color, like I love red. Red's my favorite color, but it's my favorite shade of red too. Very bright red. I think it's called Scarlet Red. But it's in a very, very bright, bright red. And then then you can't really tell. It kind of looks white, but there's a very thin trim around the lettering, and it's actually yellow. It's bright yellow. You can see it better on the little insignia on the back. That's the trim that's actually here, but it's very, very thin, so it kind of looks white. It's actually bright yellow. But yeah, I really like this version of the logo, but unfortunately, like the other honorable mentions, it just didn't quite make my top 5. Let's see. Another honorable mention. I have a lot of honorable mentions, by the way. Anyway, another honorable mention is the logo from the band Massacre. Very awesome, very creepy kind of logo. I like how it's a couple different shades of colors. Like, I love how the beginning half of the word, the beginning half of the logo is like almost a metallic blue, and then the second half is like a metallic gray or silver. But yeah, that's awesome. And the last honorable mention is the original logo for the band Cannibal Corpse. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any of the versions of the first 4 albums that have the original logo. And I'm not going to bother pulling out my phone because last time I did that, the computer camera messed up and it made it in the bright red logo. My computer made the bright red logo look white for some reason. But you guys, for you guys who know Cannibal Corpse, you know of that logo. But yeah, those are my honorable mentions. Now I'm going to get into my top 5. Number 5 is the original logo for Iron Maiden, the classic logo. You know, the classic one with the bright red lettering, and it has the M. It has the M and 2 N's in the R. On the bottom, there's the spikes, and then it has a thick white trim around the letters. Which they used this version of the logo from like their first 4 albums, their debut album, Killers, A Number of the Beast, and Peace of Mind, and then they also used this version logo for all the singles that were on that album. But yeah, the classic logo is awesome. Definitely my favorite version of that logo, and that's what's at number 5. It would have been higher, but it's just not. The logo is just not unique enough. Still kind of unique, sort of, but it's not unique enough that it'd be higher on the list. It's at number 5 though. But yeah, that's at number 5. At number 4 is the Slayer logo. It's the version from their first album. I love how it's not just the logo, but like they add some kind of like they add to it. Like it's not just the words as a logo. It's more than that. Like with the words, yeah, it's sort of like the word Slayer, very like stick like. They're very the letters are very stick like, and they're red, but they have like it's not even it's like a white trim, but the trim isn't covering the entirety of each letter. It's just the back half of each letter that has the white trim next to it. And then the logo sort of intertwined with the pentagram made of swords, and it's not even a finished pentagram; it's sort of an unfinished pentagram. It's made of swords, and I like that. It's really cool looking. But yeah, that's at number 4. Come on. Here. All right. At number 3 is the original logo for Morbid Angel. Yeah, I mean it's been the same font ever since they began, but they have changed the color of the logo from time to time. But I do prefer the traditional bright red version. Again, it's my favorite shade of red, and my favorite color, and my favorite shade of red. So yeah, I love it. It's very it almost looks like fire. It almost looks like not really fire, but it kind of looks very distorted, almost like it's or has a ripple effect to it. And I love how like at the very end the L is the devil tail, and then there's almost like there's like a pitchfork in there as well. You can't really see it, but there's like a pitchfork going through that half of the logo, and then there's like an upside down cross on the bottom of that letter of the M, and then in the middle there's a tiny pentagram in there. But yeah, this logo is very cool. There you go. You can see all of it now. But yeah, that's at number 3. At number 2 is the original logo for the band Death. Yeah, the logo. This logo has gone through many different changes, both in discoloration and the actual logo overall. But like I said before, it's never been as good as it was on the first album. I really love it. I love how the entire logo is just drenched in blood, and I love how like the letter D, the middle of the letter D has like a cobweb and like a spider is hanging from it. I love how the E is very distorted and very just misshapen. I love how the A is a partial pentagram, and then the T is an upside down burning cross that's also covered in blood. And and then the H is also covered in blood, but it has like the Grim Reaper's head up top, and then in front of the whole logo is the Grim Reaper scythe. I love it. But yeah, that's at number 2. Hold on, get that back in there. Okay, so my favorite band logo of all time. Hold on, that almost fell. My favorite band logo of all time is the version of Dethklok's logo from the third Dethklok album, the Death Album 3. Yeah, it hasn't gone under any changes in terms of the font, but the coloration has gone through a few different changes. Firstly, with the first album, it was a shiny, not a shiny, but it was a silverish blue almost, more of a silver, but it had a hint of blue on it, kind of. And then with the second album, it was blue, but it was sort of a whitish blue. And then with those 2 albums, I don't think the coloration of the logo changed with the special edition of the first album. With the special edition of the second album, again, I think it was the same. I think so. It might have been different. Hold on, I actually have it here. I don't know why I'm just not pulling it out and looking at it. But is that the right one? No, that's the special deluxe edition of the third one. Hold on. There we go. Yeah, the deluxe edition of the second one, the coloration of the logo did change. Because on the standard version, if I remember correctly, I don't have the standard version of the second one, but if I remember correctly, the standard version of the second one, it was just blue. I think it was just a sort of a shade of blue. But then this one is different. This one is a lot more detailed. There's a lot more. It almost has like some kind of electricity going through it. It's also it has electricity going through it, but also it looks like it's frozen in a way. And it's blue, but it also has white in it as well. But that's not my favorite version. And then with the deluxe edition of the third one, it was shiny gold, which I hate. That version of the logo. Like, I don't think the coloration fits the logo or the theme of the album or the band in general. But yeah, my favorite version of the Dethklok logo, my favorite logo of all time, my favorite band logo of all time, is the version of the Dethklok logo from the third album, the standard version of the third album. It's a bright, fiery orange. I love that color. And I love the logo overall. I love how, like, Dethklok, I love how I guess it's supposed to be purposely misspelled because the band are a bunch of idiots. Like in the show, the band are idiots, and majority of them don't know how to spell certain words properly. So I guess they thought like the words death and clock were spelled like that. So instead of DEATHCOLK, Dethklok is spelled DETHKOLK, and I love that. It's kind of unique, and I like how the words kind of look like they're in some kind of medieval font. And I love how there's a bottom here, like there's 2 pendulums, but they're axes, and there's like a little gear box here, and then what are those pendulums hanging like this? That it says it's the logo Dethklok, and then there's the actual clock here. But yeah, that's just an awesome logo. My favorite band logo of all time. But yeah. So hold on. Here. I need to put this back really quick. Okay, I have a little display of certain albums set up over here. That there. Set that back up there. And there we go. Okay, so yeah, so that's my video for today. This is my last video for today, and this was the video of me sharing with you my top 5 favorite band logos of all time. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video.